the world in a new way, to create new worlds and to create a new vision of either the Torah or nature. In other words, when we read Torah, Chidush Torah, and to renew or to see the Torah in a new way, not the way we saw it yesterday. When we read a thing, we see it in another way. This whole, and so you have this whole idea of this being a partner in creating new worlds, as you know, and the Rebbe Lubavitch, I have a wonderful article that he wrote about that, and I have the distinction. Actually, the last issue of the Chabad magazine has a 10-page article about me in it and my interaction with the Rebbe Lubavitch, and I have the wonderful distinction. I got a letter from the Rebbe, unsolicited letters. He wrote me a letter, not an answer to my letter, but he wrote me, I was thinking about you when I wrote this article, and I want you to study it. And he sent it to me. And it's about what I just talked about. That's what art is about. Art is about being able to turn people on to seeing the world in new ways, in fresh, new ways. And that kind of idea, and it's not only about art, it's about human relations, it's about seeing it's this creative way of experiencing the world is a central kind of thing. And a lot of people don't learn how to do it, and they see that things get boring, and doing the same thing over and over again could be boring, you know. And when I come home tonight, I'm coming home to this woman that I don't know, this strange woman. She had a whole different experience. I left the house this morning. She left even earlier than me to spend the morning with her 100-year-old brother in Herzliya, and we just gave up driving last year. A red Volvo, Fish Kamesh and all, and before her 100th birthday, I come to her apartment, and she's wearing a hat. She takes the hat off, runs back into the bedroom. I can change my hat. And I said, "Why did you change it? I thought that looked good." He said, "No, it makes me look too old." When I come back tonight to my wife of 48 years, I'm not coming back to my wife that I left this morning or that I knew yesterday. I come back to a different person, you know. And I have more wives than Melech Shlomo. Every night I have an affair with another woman. The idea of being able to see this fresh kind of thing makes it, you know, to be on a honeymoon for 48 years. So there's this creative perception in relation to everything. It has to do with human relations. It has to do with the whole role of an artist. It has to do with learning Torah and seeing it in a new way all the time. And so you have this kind of idea of getting out of the Tsar, Mitzrayim, to the Rachav, to the wide expanses in our everyday life, not in some spiritual realm, not in the kollel of the desert, not on some top of some mountain in meditation, not in abstinence from all the good things of life, and it's transforming all of those things into spiritual things. The Rebbe Lubavitch once told me something really wonderful. That he said, and maybe end it here and have questions. He said to me once. He said, when we were discussing these ideas, he said to me, you know, if you take the word chomer and ruach, chomer material and ruach spiritual, it's the same word backwards essentially. There are 4 letters that are interchangeable in Hebrew grammar, bumaf they call it. Letters that you say with your lips. Bet, mem, pei, vav. Bumaf. Bet, vav, mem, pei. Bumaf. Those are the letters, 4 letters that are interchangeable letters. If you change the letters in the shorish of a word, it keeps the same meaning. And so he said if ruach is spelled resh, vav, chet. And chomer is chet, mem, resh. If vav and mem are interchangeable letters, then the word chomer and ruach's the same word backwards. And he says, what's the difference between the olam chomri and the olam ruchani? What's the difference between them? It's zavit riyah. It's your perspective, your angle of vision. If you look at the world like this and see it as a material world, well, that's what it'll be for you. It'll be a material world. But if you make a switch in your brain to be able to see that same world in a new, fresh way from another vantage point, then it becomes spiritual. The material and spiritual world for the Jew is the same world. What's the difference between them is a cognitive switch. It's the way to be. It's your perception of that world that makes a difference. After I had this discussion with the Rebbe, I was at a conference with Adin Steinsaltz. You know Rabbi Steinsaltz from Yerushalayim, probably one of the greatest Gemara scholars and Kabbalists. Great man. My son, one of my grandsons just graduated from his yeshiva high school, right next to you, right in Makor Chaim. So I mentioned to Adin Steinsaltz what the Rebbe of Lubavitch had told me about Ruach and Chomer. He liked that. He thought that was a really nice idea. And then he said to me something wonderful. He said, "Do you know, in Western culture, in English, you say the ultimate gashmiut, the height of materiality, of crass materiality is an expression, wine, women, and song." You've heard that expression. Wine, women, and song is the ultimate statement of material, crass materiality. And he said, in Yahadut, we say kiddush on yayin. Kiddushin is marriage. And according to Rabbi Akiva, the Kodesh Kodashim is Shir HaShirim. The holiest book of the Bible is Shir HaShirim. So the Holy of Holies in Judaism is wine, women, and song. In other words, the very, very thing that Western culture says is the most materialistic, crass, problematic kind of thing. The least spiritual world is the most spiritual world in Judaism. The most spiritual thing in Judaism is kiddush on wine, kiddush, which means sanctification. Kiddushin is marriage on women, and song. And that these very, very same things, they obviously can be the most materialistic, crass material. But the idea is to transform these very same things to the ultimate extremes that can lead to drunkenness and sexual behavior that's degrading, or all of these things. But these very same things are the highest, holiest spiritual experiences. The same things, you see. And so that's a good ending for my talk. And I'll respond to questions. Yeah.